Graduate with honors. We're here because you're looking for the best of the best of the best. Sir.
Welcome back to Red Hot Raids, guys. Week 4. We've got some pretty awesome raids in this week. We've got a couple of Town Hall 11s. We also have 3 Town Hall 10s and 4 Town Hall 9s. Yeah, so for a week of where the patch has just hit the doors, we're going to wrap it all up. There's no raids from the new patch in it. It's all the old stuff, so with the 3.5 minutes mainly. That's the big change I've noticed myself. But yeah, we'll get straight into it. So to start off with here, we've got War Whales in their War versus Spartans Legacy, and we're going to go in here and have a look. And this was Flynn, the number 1, and he's gone in with a Queen Walk. I'm going to say go wipe. I feel like washing my mouth out. 3 Max Peckers, a handful of Wizzies, so 10 Wizzies there, but he's got a back end loon, so it's go wipe with loons in the back end. And I've watched this raid a couple times before going ready to do this, and it's quite an amazing attack to see where he's gone through and he's thinking to it. So 2 jumps, 2 rage, 1 freeze, and a couple of dark spells. So it's quite brilliant. He's used his warden the whole time to walk with the queen, and that's worked up through most of it. You see the minion go down there, but he's going to come out with a 6-point jump, I think it is, shortly, and that's to join up the 2 groups. You see that there was a bit of herding early, and that was to be able to make sure that the wizards and the peckers went the right way. But there it is, that's the jump. So that's a 6-point jump, and that's getting his stuff in. They're quite hard to do on the run, and when you've got a Queen Walk and all that stuff going, that's really good. That's just opened up the doors there. So the healers do go off the Queen now because she's not taking any damage. Well timed on that Warden's ability, the Tome. That's about all that I was going to get for quite a while, and that really did help. So it's good. You see the couple of loons coming out. King's raging. He's in midfield there. And now that Inferno is going to cause a bit of grief, but he's got the big heavy units. The 1 Clan Castle Golem, the 3 Peckers. There's 2 still alive. Queen's had to pop her ability, but she gets that Inferno down, and then she finishes off. So you've still got the 2 Peckers alive. The King's still alive, and a few extra units. The loons are coming straight through. I'll be interested to see if loons get a buff. I would have to imagine that they would be soon on the card for buffs. Either the golem or the loon, that'll be my next guess. But absolutely brilliant raid. Kept it all going with that jump there at the start. That joined up the 2 groups, so the walking queen and then those peckers to get in there. But a go wipe. Really cool to see. Next we're going to be going into Oz War Clans. And we're looking at a Town Hall 11 Go Wee Wee. So it's one of these sort of donut bases, and it is still quite high, 95k. So there's still some Town Hall 9 defences, but then of course he's got all the max expos and infernos and the eagle. Eagle looks like it's only level 1 though. But he's started with the Queen Walk on the bottom there. It hasn't gone for a super duper Queen Walk, just a nice little one to start off with and get it in there. And then it looks like he's joining the 2 groups up in midfield, and he's used an earthquake set there. So using the earthquakes, you're always going to get those 4 elixir spells. So the Queen, she tries to break into the walls there now. He starts his golems. It means he's going to have to hit through the eagle, but it's not too bad because he'll get to that eventually with the Queen. Just nice heavy splattering of witches there. They start coming in. So he's going to prep up with 1 rage. That's going to help him get this hound down to start off with. The loon won't take much to go. Queen's going for it. So he's going to rage that Queen up so she gets that eagle down. Didn't really get too much with the freeze, but of course got the Inferno. They've had some pretty amazing changes. I watched one of my raids today in War and watched the Infernos absolutely smash my witches. So it's pretty cool to see these new changes come through. Next week's raids are going to be pretty awesome as well. You see his king split off very, very nicely. That's giving him a good sized tank up top there just for those wizards to creep through with. So there's no tail end troops or anything like that. He's just relying on the big healthy heroes. The queen's still walking through, and of course those witches all eager to get out of midfield there. So the Skellies tripped that giant bomb. That's going to be a thing of the past. And yeah, the healers swap over to those golems. It's all over by now. It's just a matter of time. Well done, grunts. Good 3-star. So we're going to look at another one from War Whales, and this is a Town Hall 10 attack. He's gone in with a Queen Walk Lava Loon, and this is Confederate. It's a really small community sometimes when you think about it. Confederate, I've warred with him in Above and Beyond, and he's moved on to have a look at War Whales, and it looks like he's settling in there pretty well, you know, a few extra Town Hall 10s, and it's just really amazing how the guys group together and do these things. You know, it's hard seeing people leave and move on to other clans, but then at the same time there's still a lot of crossover, there's still a lot of goodwill between everyone, and this is one of Fed's attacks where he's gone in with his Queen Walk and used the king as a secondary option and joined that up. So level 39, I'm pretty sure he's maxed his queen out now. Hound comes out of the clan castle. There's only 1 point defense shooting at him at the same time, so it's not too bad. Once minion down there as well, that's just to assist the queen, make sure those healers stay up. King comes out. Now, what's good about the king here, and I did notice, is the king doesn't really get anything major, but he just gets enough to be able to make sure that queen pushes into the right direction. And when you're talking about the hit points on things like expos, storages and things like that, they are quite a massive amount of hit points. So that's done enough to be able to get the queen up there, and she's shooting that inferno all by herself. So you see a couple of hounds started, a few loons. He doesn't have a lot of haste or rage, so it's just one of each. And he's going to use one haste now and release that third hound. And you do see shortly he's going to drop down this second rage. There it is. And that's going to push all of those loons. Big healthy chunk there going through that blower. They've really got to work hard to get past that blower. But the freeze is well timed here. That gets 2 defences, that inferno being the main problem. And they're just marching in. That's doom for that inferno. That's down, that's dead. Queen's still going. He's just popped the ability. That was to get rid of the king. Enemy king. There's minions everywhere, pups everywhere. Brilliant raid, Feds. 85k base, so that's you know, that's getting up there for Town Hall 10s. Now we're going to be looking at a raid from the Clashing Dead, and this was Triple D, was it? Yep. He's gone in with the Go Wee Wee. Only small heroes if you look at it. 20 king, 25 queen, another donut base. I recommend just not using these bases for, especially when you're lowish on defences. But this guy isn't really super low on defences. He's got quite a mix of Town Hall 9/10 defences, you know, with the point towers and that. The infernos in the middle, the expos, they're all max. Dragon Loon combo in the clan castle is just asking for a big 3-star. So he's got the 1 rage, 3 jumps it was, so it was 2 jumps for the corners, 1 wall breaker section into the middle, and then a 3rd jump to get into the middle. So there's no real exit strategy outside of midfield, but in a base like this where he's got golems walking around the outside and then also a decent chunk in the middle, he doesn't really need to worry too much about getting out of midfield. It's more about making sure he gets everything going in the right directions. And you see he was chasing the golems there along the top. He put that wizard, that archer up the top there just to help work through with those golems. That's where he's got his tanks. And 1 or 2 wizards, you'd be surprised at how much they do in maps like this. So it's about not being super quick to throw everything down. He's done it well here, Triple D. Poor old Jimmy Bob, only level 20. He's not far off dead. Gonna die on mortar, is he? Oh, there it is. See you, Jimmy. A few Wizzies left. Still got a rage. What's good about the tail end of this is a couple Wiz Towers, mortar, a couple of archers, but it's bugger all really. Queen's still got her ability. She's untouched, full health, still got her ability. Money for jam. Next raid we're going to be going into was one from Aussie Addicts. Now this was Shine, and you do see at the start it's just showing here that the base was actually hit by 81B to start off with, and 93%, so it was fairly close. But Shine's come through, and what are we looking at here? There we go, it's showing that, just the 2 attacks versus the base. So Shine's going to come in and 3-star this, of course, and I think I've got it written down as a Go Weave Aho. So bit of a mix. Starts with the Earthquake on the single. It was only a single Inferno, but that was the direction he wanted to be walking his Queen, so he had to get rid of that Inferno, get that out of the way. Now you see he draws that Hound right back, and this is something that we're just not going to get the privilege of doing anymore. Now we've lost that 30 seconds again. We need to make sure we're doing a bit more hitting on the run. So 5 healers on the Queen, and she's going to be taking quite a few point defences there. You see 1 Expo, 1 Cannon, 1 Archer Tower on her. Now that second Expo fires up. Enemy Queen's still alive, but his Queen just sneezes on her and she's off. Now the Queen did actually path a little bit differently than how Bando 81 hit the base. And unfortunately she did go around that dog leg, but didn't do it the second time round. So it's always funny, you know, how often you do these kinds of things in fair play games, and you're never ever going to get them to path the same way. But perfect use of those wall breakers up top there. That additional 3rd wall breaker tripped 2 giant bombs. So that's just a massive amount of damage that's been saved. So this was the Valks, obviously pre-buff. Valks are going to get a lot more love now. His King going around the top there. That's nice. That gives us sort of tank up there to be able to go through. That Inferno is doing a fair whack of damage though. That's unchecked at the moment, so all the traps getting triggered, all the bombs. There the Inferno goes down. Everything's just about dead. But he had a tail of 8 hogs. So you see them running down the bottom. They got those last defences, and it's lights out. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. Now we've got a raid here from Stevius A and B. This is the clan leader at Above and Beyond, and this was a hit versus Powerbang at the organised scrim for the weekend, and WHF won that by 2 stars. I did actually have a chance to play that with my Town Hall 11 and my Town Hall 10, and it was a really exciting thing. Definitely would like another opportunity one day, and I could see these guys, they'd be lined up with people wanting to go in them. So congratulations for both Above and WHF for organising the wars. Players just eat it up. So you see, I think it was a Govaho. No, it was a Stoned Gohog. So Queen Walk Stone Gohog, and this was a 3rd hit on this particular base. So you see Powerbang is a 9.5, some people would say 9.1. So he's actually, he's just hit Town Hall 10, taken the traps, and a couple of little fiddly things, but nothing major. So you see Steve's only used 2 golems to start off with. It was a witch goblin clan castle, so uses the poison and goes through the middle with that. The Queen, she's still picking up buildings. She's still doing well in the pack there by herself. Out come the hogs. He's only got the 1 heal for the hogs, but because he knows the bomb pathing and all of that, he's managed to plan his raid around it and only needed the 1 heal for the hogs. There it is. That's the bombing pops. And sorry, you do see that last golem, the 3rd golem there. That was sitting there on that archer tower, and I think it was a cannon just above it there for quite a while. So you can see the golem there. It's on just under a third, under a quarter life. It took a good hammering, so it was just really well planned. That was the end war score there for Above versus WHF. Next raid we're looking at is the Clashing Dead Town Hall 9s. We're into the proper 9 attacks now, and we're looking at a Gavaho. Shattered, is it? Yes, two golems. Only a level 13 king, 17 queens, so it's not massive. 69k, so it's a max Town Hall 9 base. What, a couple of walls or something? Oh no, his enemy heroes aren't max. Dragon Loon CC. In go the redheads. I think we'll start seeing a lot more Clan Castle redheads now, seeing as, oh well, I guess I don't really know the difference. Only one level up on the golems isn't huge. You see a good entry into the midfield there though from his king, his redheads, the golem. Queen manages to find a good niche spot. Got 2 heals for his hoggies. Drops his first one down. Looks like old Jimmy Bob got stuck on a wall in midfield there. Level 13, he's just going to bash that. Not do too much. Couple of Teslas down the bottom by itself. With a few point defences there. Obviously that second heal's down. Still plenty left. You've got the king and a couple of redheads and a golem that's still almost dead but not split. Queen's run up top by herself. It's all over. Well done, Milk Team. Next raid we're going to look at is Aussie Addicts, and this was a raid from Tanya. This was her first hit 3-star, and she's gone in with a Queen Walk with a back end, I think it was Dragons and Loons. So you can see three air defense down the bottom there, and she's lightninged out the 4th, so it's quite a big collection of air defense down the bottom there. So she's planned it out, considered what to do with it, and Queen walked the first 2 air defences. That was the basic aim, and then also using the king separate by himself, with a couple of giants just to tank and some whizzies to get that king in there, and that was to get that 3rd air defence. You see the blowers are all pointing down then, so that's going to leave the queen quite exposed. So it's herded well. Tanya, she's herded well, and king goes in there. He's going to draw out that hound Clan Castle though, so not entirely the best result, but out comes the hound, and Tanya's queen, she'll get stuck on that hound. They're only level 20 queen, so she'll take her time. Lots of dragons. Additional 4 loons in the bag with a haste, and 2 rages is nice too, to be able to have that on this combo. You do see quite a bit of dragons. Dragon Love at Town Hall 9 now. That rage goes down. Tanya's had to pop her queen down the bottom there. Unfortunately doesn't use the rage on the queen, so she dropped down. Those blowers are giving the healers a bit of grief, but it's all over. Just a matter of time now. I love watching this dragon. There he goes, straight through midfield. Like a rocket. So good hit, Tanya. And I think this is our last one for the night. So we're looking at Oz War Clan, and it's a Town Hall 9 Shattered Gohog. This was suspect. So what's that? 2 golems being the shattered, yes, and then only 14. Only 14 hogs, and you do see quite a few wall breakers. I'm just trying to work out the maths in my head there. Normally I would try and have around 18 hogs myself, but lots of wall breakers, quite a few wizards. Spell combos being 2 rage, 2 heal. It's nice and patient on the Queen Walk to start off with. Good positioning. Suspect's going to get that air defence, going to get that blower nice and early, and then the Queen's going to go off and go on a merry way. These Queen Walks are going to be a lot harder to control like this, because obviously we've lost that 30 seconds again. You see those wall breakers there, they failed. They hit one bomb to start off with, and then got the mortar, I think it was. But gets in there still nonetheless, and is going to pop a rage down. Lots of whizzies. They're all down the bottom there. That hound is going to die in no time. The Queenie, she's popping around the side there on the left-hand side. You see her just take out that cannon. She's got that X-bow firing at her the whole time, but she'll just keep pew-pewing away. Start sending out the hogs. Good healthy amount. Saves a few in the bag though. And then obviously has that second one, so very nice with that giant bomb there and the pathing. So not the best sort of design, but yeah, that was a good raid suspect. So that's going to be our week. 9 raids, just the one from A and B this week. Obviously, with resets and all that kind of stuff, we're going to have a reset next week at some stage, so they fix the current dramas. But yeah, really exciting, really great bunch of raids to see this week. I hope you guys have all enjoyed them, and yeah, look forward to seeing from there on. Anyone keen to join, let us know. Hit us up through Band, hit us up through YouTube, anything like that, feel free. And yeah, as always guys, clash on.
You got his eye from across the room.